the type of life I can see you here enjoying, I think in Baltimore, you certainly are better than the ones I left at home. Because the ones at home have a problem. Our people are suffering great poverty, injustice, and if that is not enough, they're even being beaten by police for no reason. And when they want to go and worship their God, they are tear gassed. Just imagine what I told you a week and a half ago, just because President Ruto does not like Gachagua, who was here before us, and by the way, he sends his greetings. When I said, okay, so Amadokas was about 2 months now. She was elevated to a reverend. Wale wengine viongozi sio wapinzani, they don't believe this in wapinzani. Sisi ni serikali ambayo imekuja kuchukua mamlaka mwaka ujao. Na hiyo kazi Kibaki alikuwa anasema, na hiyo kazi tutafanya pamoja. Sio sisi ni because we are doing it on behalf of all of us. So I just wanted to think as I sat here, thought backwards, and realized the challenges that are facing our country today. Kenyans started confronting them many years ago, but now they have assumed a new sense of urgency. Because population imeongezeka na watu hawana kazi, vijana hawana kazi, wana shida nyingi sana. Badala ya serikali iwasaidie wapate nafasi za kazi, investors have fled from our region to the neighboring countries of Tanzania and Uganda. Yes, even some in Rwanda. I give you the founder of Mount Kenya University, big campuses in Kigali and other places. Kenyans, in fact, had we done away with poor leadership, would even be, I've seen Kenyans now form the habit of going out of their country on holiday. Wengine anaenda Ushelisheli, wengine Mauritius. But the majority of our people are languishing in poverty, and because there's so much heavy lifting against them, overtaxed. I liked it when I looked at this program here, Pastor, and I want to conclude. Unajua mimi miaka 15 I supported my brother Raila Odinga. Sindio? I love Raila Odinga. So tukaona at least we should meet and eulogize Prime Minister Raila Odinga. And at that meeting, it was decided that I become the new party leader for Azimio la Umoja. 1K, mungenipigia makofi hapo. After that, Ruto sasa ameanza kurukaruka, anasema Azimio ilizimia. Sasa kama ilizimia, anasema tulinyorosha mapema. I think he was even forgetting, he's trying to talk to Luo Nyanza wapatie support. Lakini unachekelea baba na baba amelala. Unasema ulinyorosha. Sasa ndio mshida maajabu ya leadership ya kwetu kule. So, Robert should be the majority leader. Because Mahakama Kuu, the Court of Appeal, actually decided the majority party in the National Assembly after the last election was not UDA, it was Azimio coalition. That has not been vacated in court, but that's why now my brother Ruto is making noise. Napiga kelele because anaona sasa hii kiumana na because he was hoping he can grab hold of ODM. But ODM pia wamezungumza openly huko Busia, wakasema they are not in UDA. And so they Azimio la Umoja wa Kenya. That is the argument inaendelea, very healthy argument. Kutusaidie kwa maombi ndio William Ruto amke aone. The Constitution says Kenya is a multi-party democracy. Alikuwa amempokonya Uhuru Kenyatta Jubilee. Mpaka sasa Jubilee pia imerudi kwa mikono ya Uhuru. And so this is it. We have to struggle to make sure that Kenya remains a multi-party democracy. We are working very hard. Kwa hivyo, ukiona wazee kama Kibaka wamelala, wale ambao tumebaki, tuna jukumu kubwa sana la kuhakikisha Kenya stands strong and an equal nation, well-led under the rule of law. Those are the things. Lakini ukimsikiza President Ruto siku hizi, yeye tu mambo yake ni Kalonzo. Nasema Kalonzo na Rigiji ni wajinga. Ni wajinga, sisi ni wajinga kweli, because hatujui kuwa watoto. Hatuwezi kuwa watoto, nao ni wajinga. Today, because it's already late, alikuwa kanisani somewhere in Pipeline in Nairobi. Anasema kila mtu atatoa rekodi yake. Ndio sasa Wakenya waamue watachagua yupi. Na sisi tunamwambia rekodi yetu ni kwamba tulizuia wewe usiue watoto kushinda vile wanaoa. Vitu kama hivyo. Alright, so I don't want to bring that tough politics before this congregation, but you are Kenyans. And we want to persuade you to remain focused on your home ground. Because you know watoto wengi, relatives wengi, you are. And remember that when it comes even for time to register watoto wetu kama voters, even those who are able to from this end, try and as much as you can to send word across that in order to bring the change that we require in Kenya, we need Kenyans to register as voters. And then wakitoka wakati wake, a lot of you I think are from the mountain region hapa, and you know what it means to come out and vote. Ulisema kumera.
Kenyans who live in the US, a lot of them live gainfully, in work, and they support a lot of families at home. But I've also heard the leaders say, you've been assisting Kenya, and you can even assist Kenya better economically, especially, Your Excellency, when you and your team form the next government. They want that whoever becomes the ambassador to the United States be one of these people. Together with these people and the good plans with the new government, that a lot of investments can be done in Kenya. They want to be partners in very many organizations and in very many government sectors. Like they say they can build. They have to build. So long as they know it belongs to them and they are shareholders. And they also want a transparent government so that they can send their money home. I really want to pray, Lord, that this happens and that we can make Kenya a great country, greater than it has been. We can root out corruption and have good people, leading the country. So the Bible says, when good people lead the country, there is joy. Meaning the opposite happens when people who are corrupt lead the country. There are many troubles in the country. You've heard of an education system which has become quite a challenge. You have heard corruption going very high. When they were taking the kids to grade 10, there was big confusion. Mtoto anaitwa shule ambayo iko mbali sana na Ndisu. How do you expect a 14-year-old from Kandara to go to a day school in Kisumu? It means this fellow will have to find the parents don't live there. That's why Kibani Jew, who's part of the government, says the PS and the ministers of education are cruel. And they are not the only ones who are cruel. When they appear to us in parliament, a lot of them have no idea what they are doing in government. And that person is supposed to be a PS or a CS. So we really want to ask the Christians in America to pray for our country very much so that the power of God can bring in a just government for the people, and that justice can dwell in our land. There are a lot of injustices which has happened in our country. When they were removing Gashagwa without any good reasons and illegally, they were bribing the members of the National Assembly, and in the Senate, the bribe I saw was of 10 million. because they said Senate was a little bit sober. They were not agreeing, because you see the Senate is a trial chamber. And therefore, they found that in their own people were saying, "Apana, this is injustice." Sasa wakaanza kuja mtu mmoja kwa mmoja. I was told, and I was told this money is to vote for a shepherd to go. But if you get this money and you vote no, hautafika kwa nyumba yako. Hivyo usichukue kama umechukua, hautafika. So nikawaambia mshaamua, we are going to help our friend Chikani Shepherd. And there was such justice committed to this man. You cannot believe it. And there's no way we would have become president without a shepherd. This was betrayal of the highest level. And therefore, that's one of the corruption levels of civil parliament. Sahi bunge hakuna. Parliament has been captured. And the bills leave State House, come for just stabbing in parliament. They pretend to do public participation according to the Constitution. All the ideas of public participation come here for finance bill 2024. Brilliant Kenyans economists come and give input, but none of it is put in that report on the amendment. And the report goes back and the State House approves. So there has been a big challenge. You have one arm of government not at work. Watu wamechaguliwa, lakini hakuna mtu anafanya kazi. Ili amechaguliwa kuwakilisha wananchi. Na kuna tena, you know, after the judiciary, I am one of the lawyers who go to court. And when we were fighting for the young people who were kidnapped, His Excellency told me and they were due to go to court. We were also the lawyers of Kenya Shepherd. Then the court, you know, we applied that these children be produced habeas corpus. Then some of the judges were taking us out in circles. And there was one judge now who was promoted to Court of Appeal, Justice Mwita. He said the police force must come to court. So that night, before the police force came to court, we remember the gentleman from Embu crying and saying, "Since my child disappeared, my wife is very sick. If I don't go home with this child, my wife will die." And the police force was told to must produce. So before he came to court, 9 o'clock, nasikia kijana mmoja ameachiwa huko Eldoret, then he was kept charged them. Kwa sasa wanakuta njia ya kwenda nyumbani, different parts of the country. When we were just about to call the boss to come and tell us where the Morocco for where, walichukuliwa na Subaru na ile probox. Wakatafuta watatu wale ndio walikuwa wamefunga njia pale, kulikuwa na maandamano kidogo. Usiku mzima wakazunguka wakatafuta mwingine. So that night, I know the parents have been going to city mortuary. Kila siku wanakuwa watoto wetu hakuna hospitali, polisi. That morning, breaking news. Inamalizia na hii. Watoto wamekufa wamepatikana city mortuary. Wengine hawajaipatikana. So these are the injustices going on in our country. Na ndio tunaomba wakati kura inapigwa na tunaandikisha kura. Please support. I'm sure you know the people at home. Support the young people to register as voters. Do a little bit of civic education to them so that they can